Hello, welcome to Game World Art. So here we are in RDR2 again. I thought I'd have a little close look at one of the rivers for Red Dead Redemption 2. So I'm way up at the source of Hawkeye Creek. So you can see here, coming down that little notch there, it's collecting on that side there. This rock is stopping it and it's flowing around to this right side, and then it's hitting more obstacles and blockers, and then it's going and feeding down that chute and onwards. So you see how the flow map is cascading down, isn't it? And it's observing the riverbed and the rocks around it, and it's flowing in the right directions. It's hitting rocks, it's going around rocks, the current's splitting between different rocks, and it's generally just having a great old time splashing down here in these drops and flatter sections and so on. And every little step is losing elevation on your final destination out to its meeting with the Upper Montana River. You hit these rocks here, which is channeling the river flow off to the left because it wants to flow through Strawberry. And a little creature bites me. I don't know what they are. Have we got blood? Yes, we've got blood. But anyway, creatures aside, all these little steps here are all just bleeding off the elevation, you know, because we know we want to end up quite a way lower down than here. And so I get flatter sections and a cascade, rocky sort of pool at the bottom. Really? I don't like those things. I don't even know what they are. They're like little manic guinea pigs. So you see a lot of obstacles in the water there, a lot of boulders, and the flow maps bringing the water around. It's hitting these rocks here, moving the water back into the main channel, and it's just generally flowing around and over these rocks, and you can really see what the water's doing. I think it just gives a lovely shape to it all. It's interesting, and it's fitting in with its environment as well. Interesting little section here, faster flow coming around. It's hitting those rocks on the far bank, so we've got a couple of little bays there where it's slow, but the main channel is coming round here and really getting channeled between those two boulders. A little section here that's caught in this side flow, slowed right down. Here we go into this dammed up area. So you can see the stronger flow is coming through there, and it's flowing out of an outflow under that bridge there. And you can just see the current, and it's curling back round on itself to the left here, and then it's coming round here in this direction. So you get these sort of spiral patterns in the flow as it hits an obstacle. And then there's just these more still sections as they're sheltered by all these boulders. Water comes down into the mill pond, and then we scoop under the bridge and onwards. So the flow's getting a bit wider, a bit stronger by this point. Just a little bit of turbulence there going on. Some interesting waves that are piling up before those boulders. And then it's just carving and scooping around in those really interesting shapes. Let's try it from the river's eye view. Another interesting little collection of boulders and stuff. See the water flowing over those ones, between them, around, and then it kind of hits that bit there, flows around, down over here, getting caught up a bit by that boulder there as well. See, if you look close, you can start to see the limitations of the tessellation on the water. But I mean, it's pretty cool. It's creating a nice little lip there. And so now you can see in this section here, we're getting lower down, much more erosion. The channel's getting a lot deeper. And we're just really kind of getting a window into the cross section of this whole hillside, really. Looking through there, the water's just carved out all this thing and left the boulders behind. Another one of those little standing waves on that there as well, forming a wake coming around it. So here we are continuing down Hawkeye Creek. looking back up where we've come, and you can see that sort of slice of the landscape has been worn out by the river, cutting right through that meadow. And you see all the water just splashing in between all the rocks, coming down shelf to shelf. Really quite a lively cascade coming down here, and we can see all sorts of interesting stuff going on here. You see where the flow map's going around this big boulder here, and flowing between these, there's a little lull in the lee of this boulder here, where the current's going around to the left and right of it. And this is a good spot to actually see the main flow in the centre of the river, and where it gets very much calmer toward the edges, especially where it's getting shallower. So we've got some nice sunlight coming up, dawn. Look at that lovely atmospheric effect there. So let's carry on down onto this little old bridge here. Right, now it's really starting to get interesting as the river's sort of cutting its way through this rocky outcrop here. Some nice little cascades. Again, steps and cascades, working all the way down. And the Upper Montana River is just about over there. Those shapes in the water are pretty evident there as the river bed is having its effect. And then you can see now as the river widens out for a little crossing point there. And I always like to take into account water volume. So if the river's going to get shallow enough to cross over, it's got to get wider as well to account for that water volume. Again, another water's eye view. Let's have a little splash. And that's another quite a good view to see the flow map in action. You can really see the direction as it's flowing around this first curve, and then it sort of hits that rock in the middle there on the right hand side, and then it pushes up on that little boulder that's on the left side, and it's all being squeezed in between those rocks. And all of these rocks are having their own impact on the flow of the river, the direction it's going, which is all dictated by the flow map. Some nice particle effects there by the particles people, well done VFX. And then we're coming to the outflow of the Montana River. Last little gurgle down that step there, and out to join the main river. And you see the flows combine and meet around there.